Walking the radioactive landscapes of Bethesda's legendary Fallout series requires steady nerves and skilled hands. Turns out, drawing Fallout 3's iconic power armor has the exact same requirements. Fortunately, I have both, at least twice a week for 47 minutes. Let's see how I did. Greetings all, my name is Kontrol. I'm a veteran gamer with a knack for drawing. You're watching the latest in a series of gaming pinup videos. So, if you like what you see, think about hitting the like button on your way out and subscribe for more. It's well understood that any good story must present some kind of huge problem for its lead characters. If there are no obstacles to complicate the journey, your audience is in for a pretty boring ride, right? This is why a minor traffic altercation becomes a full-blown chase sequence involving gunfire when you tell your friends about it.
Wait, so you didn't actually drive 200 miles per hour in reverse on the New Jersey Turnpike to escape from those Black Ops agents back in 2005?
No, of course not. I was on the FDR drive. But back to my point. Interesting stories need something wrong going on in that fictional universe, so naturally a legion of writers have calculated that very interesting stories need something very wrong happening. And what could present more chaos than civilization itself falling into absolute ruin? Thus, the post-apocalypse has been a mainstay of sci-fi entertainment for many decades now.
Apocalypse, last seen choke slamming Jennifer Lawrence?
Apocalypse isn't a person, Mello. It's just a word, like doom, or carnage, or sinister.
Please comment below if you get the jokes on this channel.
Well, video games are an ideal post-apocalyptic playground, so it should come as no surprise that some of my favorite gaming experiences come from this genre. Metro Last Light has some of my favorite stealth gameplay ever. Rage offered up the very rare 60 FPS Xbox 360 experience and some truly satisfying beheadings. Half-Life 2 was arguably the best action sequel of its day. So good, in fact, developer Valve decided to quit while they were ahead and canceled the sequel. The Last of Us. Way too good, forcing developer Naughty Dog to make the worst sequel possible, thus restoring balance to the universe. Here we have a clip of lead writer Neil Druckmann accepting his industry award. A true class act.
So eloquent.
Longtime fans of Kontrol Incorporated know we've featured End of the World Crazy on the channel before. Destiny has shown up a record 4 times with its devastated Earth and an alien menace that the player repels with a vast arsenal of guns and dance moves. And of course, Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn got to show off her moves in a spectacular fight with a robot T-Rex that time, proving once and for all that there's no surviving the apocalypse without a proper hairstylist.
Wait, we've done Resident Evil twice now. Isn't Resident Evil a post-apocalypse thing?
It is if you're thinking about the 6-part Mila Jovovich Resident Evil movie series.
Oh, I see, so...
Never! Think about the 6-part Mila Jovovich Resident Evil movie series.
Roger that.
Okay, so there's no shortage of grim fun to be had in the post-apocalypse arena, but there are a few things that really stand out about the subject of this week's pinup, Fallout. Or more specifically, Fallout 3, which is by far my favorite game in the series.
Really? The internet gods seem to think Fallout New Vegas is the best Bethesda Fallout game.
That can't be right.
Why not?
Because I haven't played that one. Duh.
I guess that makes sense.
Okay, maybe not so much, but cut me some slack. There's only so much time to jump on every supposedly amazing entertainment property out there. I mean, I barely have enough time to create artwork for a great YouTube channel.
Or even this channel.
But let the record show, I did in fact complete Fallout 3 on my Xbox 360 along with the incredible 5 DLC packs that came along with it. It was a cool little package deal for like $15 that showed up in the Xbox store if I remember correctly. What I discovered was the single most filthy and decrepit game world ever. Think for a second what that means. The magnitude of that statement. Dirtiest game ever. More disgusting than the corpse-riddled worlds of the countless horrorscapes I've played through. Fallout 3 was the first game I've ever played where the simple act of taking a restorative nap made my skin crawl.
What could be so gross about taking a healing nap? Oh no. Oh dear God.
Yeah, the game doesn't tell you the origins of those mystery stains. Nor does it provide a spot to rest that's more preferable, like maybe a block of concrete. When your character sleeps, it's not hard to imagine them dreaming about the enormous cockroaches they had to fight moments earlier. By the way, better add the roach carcass to your item inventory because he might just be a last resort food source if the going gets rough later. I swear I'm not making this up.
Please tell me there's an option to turn that gun on yourself.
So yeah, expect to be making a weird face for much of your Fallout 3 playthrough. But also take heart, because the grim atmosphere is livened up quite a bit with a sense of dark humor that pervades much of the proceedings. There's a satirical bent to the game world that appears not only in the script, but in the game's visual aesthetic. Fallout 3 presents a futuristic universe, but with a distinct 1950s look and sound, presumably to parody a time when the fear of nuclear holocaust was at its height in the United States. It's a game that introduces your playable character as a baby growing up in an underground bunker. Most amusingly, you're a complete blank slate who is given a host of options for physical and mental attributes, a choice of responses in every single interaction, and the freedom to walk either the admirable path of good or the dark stairwell of evil.
I don't suppose I could just get on the escalator of shady business partner?
Don't be wishy-washy. Fallout 3's karma system charts your gameplay ethics, good or bad. And when I say bad, I mean pure evil. Evil so intense you can't look directly at it without sunglasses. One of the first things you get to do after leaving Vault 101 is make a shady deal to demolish the very first town you run into, by detonating an enormous inert bomb that sits in the heart of it. In other words, you have the option of inaugurating your first visit to the surface with a murderous atrocity. Being the kind of person who hits the brakes to avoid running over squirrels, I left this town completely intact. But it's worth noting, besides killing traitors, there's no in-game penalty for following the "what would a psychopath do" rule for making decisions. So if you've been nursing a lifelong dream of selling children into slavery or enjoy hiding explosives in the pants of strangers, go nuts. But expect a dirty look from me at the company Christmas party.
Yeah, it's called Ethics Bethesda. On Kontrol Incorporated, we almost never sell children into slavery.
Very rare. Very
They're
rare.
on the right side of history.
So power armor eventually becomes available for the player as they progress, which is fortunate as it's featured prominently in most of Fallout's advertising. And more importantly, right here in this pinup, along with some Washington DC iconography and a mushroom cloud. Okay, yes, the mushroom cloud nuclear bombs went off a century or so before the events of the game, but who cares? It looks cool and dramatic as a background element. And anyone who's made it this far into this video clearly isn't too worried about accuracy. Speaking of you, thanks so much for watching and making it to the end. Fallout fans, let me know what you think about the series in the comments. I do have Fallout New Vegas ready to play through on Game Pass. Is it really better than 3? And did you get that joke about sinister doom and carnage?